Hi there. Welcome to this month's installment of ZOHO What's New, put on by the Marks Group. I'm Suzanne, your host, your hostess, and I'll be going over a couple little modifications that ZOHO has made to their CRM application in this webinar. And I also want to let you know that next week we're having another webinar that's more about tips and tricks. So if you're interested in learning, little ways of enhancing your use of ZOHO CRM, please tune in for that. Okay, so let me get to what I'm going to share today. ZOHO has been making quite a few enhancements to not only their CRM product, but they're also creating a lot of new products that work with CRM. So next month, I'll be going over their new gamification app, which basically just puts some fun in sales competitions. So it's called Motivator, and it's like a whole gamification system of you can set up contests and things like that with your salespeople. So I'll be reviewing that next month in December. So okay, let me get to a couple little things that I wanted to show you today. I'm going to switch over to my ZOHO application. So here we are in ZOHO. I'm in reports, and I'm in a particular report called Open Potentials. So the first thing I want to talk about today is a new criteria option that they've introduced. So, each report has this top filter option, and then you can further customize criteria within the report definition. But what I want to show you today is easily able to do that here. So you know how in these, when you're dealing with a date for your criteria, you have a whole list of ways you can specify that date. And there are, there are settings that are very specific, like yesterday, today, tomorrow. There's, week, last week, next week. So there's both future and past settings in various units in this list. At the very top, there was always age in days, and that was a way you could set something, any kind of customer random number, like I want the last 40 days worth of information, and you could set that age in days to 40. The new thing is due in days. That just was added, I'd say, within the last 2 months. And whereas age in days is looking back and seeing how old something is, due in days, as one would guess from the title, is looking forward. So now we can use this for, here's one example where for potential closing date, I can say due in days is any random number, 10 days. I want to see the next 10 days worth of things that could possibly close for me, and apply that filter. And I have nothing in there. I thought I had something within there. Let's try 20. All right. But all right, I thought I had some in there that would come up and show you, but you can see how it did change. Let's go with next 120 days to get those back. Okay. So here's all the ones that are in the next 120 days. I'm looking at my days, so 12, 18. So let's say next 45, due in days is 45 days, and that way we can see that better. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay. Sorry, guys, one of those days. So in addition to not only specifying the due in days, but you also need to specify your operator. So I had set that up. It was defaulted to equals, and that's why nothing came up. So what I want to say is due in days is less than 40. So that's going to bring me anything that's due in the next 40 days, and which is all of them. So here's an example where now I just have the set that is due within the next 20 days. So you can even, you know, if you wanted to use the greater than, you could use this due in days and look like maybe, you know, 6 months, looking at 6 months and beyond or something like that. That's how you would use the greater than. But anyway, very long-winded way of circling around to just show you that there is this due in days, and it's very similar to age in days, except it's looking forward, not looking back. Okay, so that's item number 1 that's new in ZOHO CRM. So let's move on to item number 2, which has to do with web forms. So I'm going to go out of my reports here, and I'm going to go into my web form area, which is, we start at setup. And then we come down into website integration, web forms. And to show you what I need to show you, I'm just going to pop open one of these forms. Just a little minor tweak that they made in the interface in this form. So if you've never used web forms before, let me just give you a quick overview. Web forms are a way that you can very easily integrate your CRM with your website. So you can use this nice drag and drop interface. I just drag fields over and drop them on if I want, you know, to add fields. Once I add a field, I have some settings that I can do. I can mark it as a hidden field, I can mark it as required, or I can create a help link for the field, and that's something that will pop up when the person on your website mouses over the field. I'm just going to take that off my form for now. So very quickly, you can drag and build a nice little form. You can change your alignment. Right now, this is left align. I can change this to right align or top align. So top align looks like that, and right align looks like that. So you have those options. You also have you can change the font, you can change the font color, and you can change the background color, and you can change the width. So that's a very quick web form, and that web forms have been around for a while. What has recently changed in web forms is the next step, and that's the embedding code. But just to continue my reviewing of web forms, here's where you would put the enter the landing page, which is where after the person hits submit, this is the page on your website where they would land. So a lot of times it's, you know, thank you for contacting us. We'll be in touch with you shortly. The form location URL is the actual page on which the form will reside. If you don't know the page, or it's going to be on multiple pages, you can just make that an asterisk, and you're good to go there. And then you can assign an owner. This could be either always assign it to one person, or you can create an assignment rule, and then it will assign based on the data that was filled out on the form. You could set up a notification, an acknowledgement, and approval request. But again, that's all standard. That's nothing new. I'm just reviewing that since I'm talking about the web form. Here's the new piece. So this used to look very different. It's much simpler now. You can choose 3 types of web form code format. You can do just the raw source code, which you'll copy out the HTML. You can do an embed, or you can do an iframe. So for example, if we're going to go with source code, you just drop your cursor in there to automatically selects everything. And then all you have to do is copy that code, and then open up your HTML file and paste the code into the HTML file. Again, that's the same. The only thing that's really different is just this web form. It used to be, this interface. It used to have a lot of other options across the top, and it was a little bit confusing for some people. So now it's just really simple. You have 3 choices, and then you just copy and paste. So if I chose embed, that's what that looks like. It's script based, and then iframe is obviously iframe based. So it's just much simpler user interface for embedding your web forms. Okay, so that's the second thing that's new. And then the last thing I want to go over is another little tweak to the user interface. So I'm just going to hit done there. And this has to do with the audit log. And this is, again, in the setup region in data administration. So again, like with web forms, if you're unfamiliar with the audit log, it's this great way, it's just a listing of everything that has happened that your users have done in the system. You even have the option to export it and it'll go out into a CSV or Excel spreadsheet. But the change is, again, this can be a pretty intimidating list, especially if you've had your system for a while and you have a lot of users, just a lot of stuff in here. So if you're trying to do some troubleshooting and find out what happened to a certain record, or when was this changed, or why did, who did that, the audit log is the place where you're going to find the answer to those questions. But it can be, overwhelming to search through, especially if you're not sure what date or anything like that. So this is the new thing. They've just added these filters. So now you can set up a set of filters. So if I just, I know I'm dealing with quotes. I think it was Susie Ann Kirkland, and she added something, and I think it was in the last 30 days. And then I can take that big, long list of ugly stuff and I make it this much shorter list. So it's just so much easier to find things. So again, this whole filtering system, new for the audit log and very, very useful. So thank you, ZOHO, for changing that for us. Okay, so those are my 3 new things that I wanted to share with you. And like I always say every month, ZOHO is constantly not only coming out with new applications, but also improving their existing applications all the time. So there's always new little things that crop up and to make the applications better, in addition to whole new applications coming out to enhance not only your CRM experience, but branching out into other areas. So like I said, next month I want to review the new application called Motivator. And again, this is a kind of a sales gamification application where you can set up contests and just make selling fun, right? So, so we'll be reviewing that next month. Okay, well, thank you for watching. And hope you have a great day and a great month. And remember to tune in next week for our tips and tricks. All right, have a great day. Bye.